Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I was gonna save this for like October. I was gonna start doing stuff on October because it seems fitting. But but I want to like at least upload every day of the month because yeah, I want to stay consistent with uploads. Also, sweating, and I don't have a lot of ideas for my next one. Not, anyway, not the point. Now, today's video is gonna be a roller coaster, I guess you can say. I've always been a fan of creepypastas, scary stories. So today, I've set the mood for a scary story. Now, unlike ghost stories, which were based on like actual events, these events are all obviously fake. And I'll just be telling stories as I go on. And yeah, I hope y'all enjoy that. Let me set the mood. It was a dark and stormy night. I remember it like any other day. I remember that day like any other. I can never get rid of that image in my face. I was a teenager back then. Like you were. You really want to know what happened to the missing kids? It was Halloween night. We were trick-or-treating. All was going splendid. All was going well. Until, well, a friend of mine dared us, wanted to play a game. There was a haunted house not too far from here. People say that a witch lived there who made awful abominations. There were stories of ghosts, so of course, us being the teenagers we were, didn't believe the stories. We were a lot more arrogant back then, at least I was. I dared to look fear in the eyes and say, "You don't scare me," and laugh. After that day, I could never look fear in the eyes ever again. It was a simple challenge, really. Last one to leave the house wins. Whoever spends the longest time in the haunted house wins. It was so simple. It was so easy. Yeah. Here we are now. I should have noticed something was wrong. Something in my gut was telling me something was wrong, but I refused to listen. We had one friend with common sense. At least. Until he was peer pressured to go with us as well. He's scared easily. He was the first to go. It was strange. Nights passed and passed and passed. Everything seemed fine. Everyone was still there. Till one day, we all decided it was enough. 2 days. 2 days we spent into that mansion, and yet it felt like we've been there for a week. We tried to leave. We really did. We went towards the front door, only to realize that it wasn't there anymore. Windows gone, replaced by a wall, by cement. The house was now a prison. We could never leave. We don't know how this happened. I don't know how it happened. It seemed so strange. I remember waking up in the morning, seeing the sun go up and down 2 days. We could tell that it was night. We could tell it was day. We looked out the windows and we saw the sun and moon chase each other. And yet, we wake up that morning. The windows are still there. We checked the front door. It's gone. Last day it was there. I know it was there because our friend tried to beg us and tell us to leave. He was so scared. We all slept in separate rooms. I slept in the kitchen. The easily scared friend, his name was Johnson. He slept in the attic. Well, not in the attic. He slept in the second floor near a window. He was very scared of the dark. So he always slept in a place that had light. The others slept in different areas. One in the bathroom, one in the master bedroom, another in the guest bedroom. The front door was there last night. I remember it because Johnson was arguing with Hunter about how this challenge was dumb. Their families will eventually start looking for them. He doesn't want to get in trouble with his mom or dad, so he wants to leave. Hunter tells him, "Why don't you stay another night? Why don't you try to at least stay one more night, and then you can leave? I mean, going out in the dark is dangerous this time of day." Hunter was, I wouldn't say nice. He wasn't the nicest of our group, but at least he knew something about when to put an end to a joke, when to give up. No, by the sound of the story, you'd think Hunter's the one that wanted us to go into this haunted house. Not really. He was actually against it at first until we were told it was a challenge. The one who suggested it was another one of my friends that went missing. His name was... His name was Michael. I think, anyway. We called him Mike. Anyway, we wake up. We see Johnson off. He decides he wants to leave, and of course, I say my goodbyes. We all say our goodbyes, and tell him that we'll see him after this challenge is over. We follow him to the front door to wave him goodbye, only to see that it's gone. I checked the window in the kitchen and it's gone. I know it was there. I felt the sun hitting my face just a moment ago, and then I woke up. But now it's gone. There is no window. There is nothing in this house. Hunter thinks it's a prank from Johnson. He said, Okay, Johnson, I know that you're scared and that you want to get back on me for calling you a coward for wanting to leave last night. But you can now like take the paint off the doors. Of course, Johnson didn't know what to say. He tried. He punched where the door was. It hurt his hand. Michael checked the second floor. No windows. No escape. We checked the attic. There was a hole. There was a hole at the attic that led to the roof. Maybe that was a way out. Nope. Blocked off as well. We were now trapped inside that house. And that house became our grave. Well, their grave. And their tomb. Of course, Michael and Hunter think nothing of it, really. They laugh it off and think this is all a prank, that maybe they're on a prank TV show. I, of course, become more worried, more scared. They looked at me and said, "Well, you look at that. It seems like it seems like dear old Bruce is following in the footsteps of Johnson of being a coward." I, of course, didn't listen to them. The others were there as well. Kaylee, Jenna, and some others as well. We were a group. Of course, with a group comes a dynamic. Me and Johnson were good friends, but I think I was at least the nicest to him compared to Hunter and Michael. But then again, that could just be my own guilt, trying to make it seem like I was a better person than those two. Michael was the leader. Hunter was his right-hand man. Michael had a girlfriend. He That was Kaylee. She was a bit of a drama person. They like listening to drama, talking about drama, starting about drama. I guess you could say I always hated her more than Kaylee, which is weird because Kaylee was mostly the fight starter, the egotistical, everyday mean girl, if you, I guess, get what I'm putting down. She and Hunter were in a 3-year relationship until it all came crashing down. While we were trapped inside a haunted house. It was like so strange, because there was no one in the house we could go to, not hear them screaming at each other. Now, Johnson kept to himself a lot. And one night, Michael and Hunter take him to a corner. They tell him, "Why do you always sleep in the light like a coward? Sleep in the dark like the rest of us." The night he did, he was gone the next day. No screams, no anything. He was just gone. He's just... He was the most redeemable one of all of us. He had dreams, good grades. He wanted to be a business owner. He wanted to do something with his life. The, I guess, stereotypical nerd. He left nothing behind. Nothing at all. Not even his glasses. Not even his favorite pencil. Nothing was there. Nothing, not his stuff, not the food he brought with him. Not the bag. Everything was just gone. Gone with the wind. Disappeared. Nothing else left but of course, I woke up, saw Johnson was missing. I told the others. They, of course, looked for him all over the house. I did too. He could have been there somewhere, right? We checked and checked again and checked again and checked again and checked again and checked again. Eventually, we found something. Glasses and a wooden plank covered in blood. Hunter and Michael thought it was a prank. Until, of course, they touched the glasses and realized that isn't fake blood. They tried to deny it. To be fair, how could you blame them? The second I saw those glasses, the smell of copper just hit me. It seemed like Michael and Hunter tried their best to ignore it, until, of course, touching the glasses, they realized that this was reality. This wasn't a dream. It was never found again. Before the night ends, we hear Jenna scream. In the kitchen, we go towards the scream. I look at the fridge. She apparently opened the fridge to see if there was anything in there, or I don't know why none of us checked the fridge. None of us even looked in there, not for 2 whole days, not even the day after Johnson was gone. You want to know what she found in there? A dismembered body. This wasn't Johnson. I knew what Johnson looked like. That wasn't him. That was someone else. Everyone, of course, was shook. I then asked the question. If the body of a missing person is here, that means the body of anyone who's ever gone missing near this house has to be here somewhere. So then where's Johnson's body? And why were his glasses hidden under a floorboard? Of course, Hunter and Michael tried to pass it off. They seemed shook, too scared to believe their reality now. Too afraid, because they knew if they accepted this, they knew that sooner or later one of them will die as well. And well, that's what happened. The next night was the quietest night that we've ever had. There's a reason for that. 2 people were taken that night. Hunter and Jenna. Apparently, there was they were arguing one night, and then all of a sudden, they were just gone, leaving 3 of us left. I mean, instantly go to check the fridge again. The dismembered body seems to be gone. Whoever that body belonged to had to have been moved. Unlike Johnson, we couldn't find anything. I searched under the floorboards everywhere, attic, front door, anywhere. Maybe I could find something as close as Johnson's bloody glasses, but unlike with Johnson, there was nothing left. Not even Hunter's ring, Jenna's earrings, nothing. That left three of us. Three of us in this forsaken household. Every day felt like a week, every week felt like a month, every month felt like a... Time moved weirdly in there. I can remember it almost as good as I can. We were there for 4 days. We were there for four whole days. 2 days of peace. 3rd day, Johnson goes missing. 4th, Hunter and Jenna. We were there for 4 days, but to me it felt like we've been there for a lot more longer than we were. No one was looking for us, no one. We have to find our way out of here. I started looking anywhere and everywhere. Kitchen, any weapon, anything that can help me from whatever's taking my friends from whatever's in that house. Anything at all. Maybe I can find a fire hydrant and try to break the wall with it. Maybe I can... I don't know what. But maybe I can do something. Anything to find my way out. At this point, Michael stops treating everything like a joke. He's scared, paranoid. Kaylee starts to pace back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know how long it was, but odd. Not stopping once, not sitting down once. Like, the pain in her legs was not enough to hold. I can spend another night in this house. I can spend another night. I don't want to be next. I don't want to be next. I want to live. My life may have been horrible. My life, I may have hated it. I may have taken advantage of my life, but I don't want to die. I look, and I look, and I look, and I look, and I look. I walk around the whole entire house. Night hits again. I'm not going to sleep. I'm not closing my eyes. I'm not closing my eyes. I'm not closing my eyes. My eyes start to shudder ever so slightly. I move back and forth, trying to stay awake. And then, dud. I fall asleep. I wake up, and I'm outside of that house. I'm outside. I look around. I don't see Jenna. I don't see Kylie. I don't see Michael. I don't see anyone. No dead body. No one. I look back at the house. My spine starts to shiver looking at that house. I get an undeniable feeling of fear, of wanting to go back in there. But I ignore it. I run away. While running, I look back and I see at the front door a silhouette. I didn't see anyone after that. Johnson could still be alive for all I know. I just know for a fact that I'm not going back into that house. And you shouldn't either. You should not go to that house. Whoever steps foot into that house ends up going missing or dead. Don't go into the haunted house. I don't know why I woke up outside. Maybe it was satisfied with the people it took, and it didn't want me anymore. It didn't need me anymore. Now I'm here. My life changed my life, fulfilled my life. Finally changed. I still look back. From a distance, I look at that house, and every time I look at that house, I see a silhouette at the front door, waiting for me, welcoming in its new victims. That's what I thought, at least. But there was no one in that house. No creature, no monster, no nothing. It was just the four of... There was 5 of us, 6 including me. There was no one in that house. We searched and searched and searched and searched, and yet nothing. No one was there. I never saw a silhouette, not even at the corner of my eyes. I never saw anyone or anything. And yet that silhouette is so real to me. How could have I missed someone? I've looked everywhere in that house while I was stuck in there looking for a weapon. I looked every inch of that house when we were trying to find Johnson, Hunter, Jenna, and yet nothing. I don't know what happened to them. But I hope that they're all alive somewhere.